guys, it's Eric at SideQuest Comics, and I'm at Jay's Comics, my local comic store, again for another 10 by 10. Let's go inside and see what we can find in those dollar bins. Wow. There's more down here too. Holy cow. All right, guys. Well, I just finished up. I was there for quite a while. Let's head back and I'll show you guys what I got. And today I got a video that is my second 10 for 10 deep dive in some dollar bins at my local comic store, Jay's Comics. He had a bunch of comics out for the holiday season, and this one's been on the back burner a little bit, so I've had this pile actually sitting behind me for a while that I wanted to go through with you guys. But before we get into that, I want to give a little shout out to some community members and thank them. I want to first thank Ryan at Colossus Collector for having me come on and just hang out and chit chat X-Men as part of his X-Men collector chat. It was number 5. It was just a couple days ago that we were on. It was on there with Dan's X-Men Comics that you can find on IG, and also Chris from Cheddar Comics, who is also a YouTube creator, a seller, I believe, and he is also on Instagram. So I am going to actually put links to all these guys down below. I had a lot of fun with them talking X-Men. If you guys don't follow them, go over there, give them a like, a follow, and all that. See what they got going on. And once again, had a lot of fun. Thanks, Ryan, for inviting me on to the show. All right, so this, like I said, was getting down to the wire. Jay's Comics actually had all their dollar bins. They brought them out for the holiday season, and I went a couple times and visited them and tried to get a bunch of comics. And this was the second time I went. I think I'm gonna put I had some video before this, and I think it was the right video. I kind of lost track of what video was what, because I had some issues with some of the stuff getting corrupted in the transfer and upload and all that stuff. So hopefully it was the right one. So some of these comics you may see in some of that footage of me flipping through the long boxes. But let's jump into what I got my 10 for 10 here. And I'm going to start like last time. I don't want to call it cheating, but I had an honorable mention. So my first honorable mention here, let me scoot over a little bit so you guys can see. My first honorable mention is this. It's a who's who. What is this? They call it the definitive directory of the DC universe. Now, this is number 1 of 26. So they've had 26 issues of this between 84 and 87. And this was written by Marv Wolfman. Some of you guys may recognize him from Tomb of Dracula. Keep his name in mind. He's coming up a little bit later. And the cover here was George Perez. Now, they had, in this particular issue, 30 different characters that they go over. They talk about their origin, first appearances, their powers, stuff like that. So this one went from A to AU. And what's actually nice is when I got this, it had number 2 in it. And they're like, whatever, they didn't care. So I got 2 for 1 basically on this. And let me show you the cover real quick. So George Perez did the cover, and what I like about this is that it's a big fold out. So they got a big scene there going on. And I don't know if these were like the Marvel Universe handbooks where they connected to each other. But yeah, I thought it was just neat. This is something that, look at that, I opened right up to Atari Force. This is something that's in the works for the channel, one of the new things I wanted to do. And yeah, this was my honorable mention. Like I said, who's who. I want to get a bunch of these other ones and keep an eye open on the channel for something that I have in mind with this. And my first one for the 10 for 10. So the first one here, going along with the who's who DC universe, we have Marvel Universe. This is the update 89. So this was an 8-issue series, an update. I want to call this volume 3, but it's not really a volume. They just kind of added some newer characters to it. But this is the official handbook, the Marvel Universe, similar to the Who's Who that we just saw. This was in 1989, as the title says. This was 1 of 8. So 34 characters in this issue from A to CH. So this one, not as many characters. I think this was 34 of them in this issue. And this was written by, let's see, Peter Sanderson did all the research on this one. And the cover here is Ron Frenz. Let's see. So, yeah, volume one originally was 15 issues. It came out in 83 to 84. And then volume two, which is the one I grew up with, was 20 issues. And that one was 85 to 87. Kind of similar. They have the big old layout picture. And let's see, let's flip to, okay, here we go. So, yeah, these are newer characters that they wanted to add. Bloodscream, Boom Boom. It talks about their character where, let's see, wow, they got like occupation, their legal status, other aliases, birthplace, group affiliations, stuff like that. So, yeah, this is also going to be another project coming soon to the channel that I'm going to be using these Marvel Universe and the Who's Who and whatever else I can find. So, like I said, keep an eye open for something new coming along the way. Okay, next up we have a Marvel comic that I found in the dollar bin. This is Weapon X. This is Days of Future Now. So this is number one. I have some of the other volumes for Weapon X. This was just a limited series, 5-issue mini. And this came out in 2005. This is by Frank Turi. And the art is by Bart Sears, which I like Bart Sears' art. He's known for a lot of the stuff he did in DC. I think it was Justice League Europe is where I first kind of came across Bart Sears back in the 80s, late 80s. So, yeah, this was $1. Got Wolverine on the cover. I'm going to pick it up. I did just recently get, I want to say it was volume 2 of Weapon X. The one that ran through the 90s. I have the original, and then they did one, I think another one in the 2000s and stuff like that. So Weapon X as a series has a couple different volumes. Like I said, this was just a mini. It was $1 with Wolverine. Why not? Really nice art in this. Let me see if I can find a cool picture of some of Bart's art. Oh, here's the splash page. Very cool art for $1. I'll have to track down the rest of them, but yeah, Weapon X, Days of Future Now. So going to DC now, I found a bunch of Volume 2 Green Lanterns and Green Arrow. So this was Volume 2, 122, came out in 1979, and this is written by Dennis O'Neil, and the art's by Dick Giordano. There we go. Got it that time. And this is actually a minor. It has a minor key. This is the last time that Green Lantern teams up with the Green Arrow. They changed the title to just Green Lantern again and moved forward. So the story has, I think I need to read a couple before this because it actually has Guy Gardner in there. And when I first flipped through it, I was very confused because Green Lantern is supposed to be getting married. And I guess that was Guy Gardner's girl. Something happens where they get to the Phantom Zone. That's why I think Superman's there. But I kind of like this down here. It says with these rings, and they show the Lantern's ring and just your traditional wedding ring. So, but yeah, I didn't realize what this was till I got home and I looked it up and I was like, oh, cool, it's the last one. So yeah, this volume 2 I've been picking up here and there when I see them in the dollar bins. Not actively chasing them. It's one of those. There's so many of them. I think I would drive myself crazy. So I get them when I see them, type of thing. Or eventually, I think I'm gonna go chase after the key ones and in this series. So, but that's Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Okay, this one I grabbed instinctively because I knew I had some of this series and I wasn't sure which ones I needed. So even if I had this, it was $1, so I didn't mind. But this is Werewolf by Night. This is Volume 2, number 6. This is the last issue in this miniseries. Came out in 1998, and this is Paul Jenkins wrote it, and Leonardo Macco did the art. And this has Ghost Rider in it, but it's not Johnny Blaze. It's not Danny Ketch. It's somebody called Noble Kane. So I don't know exactly who this character is. Like I said, this is from the 90s. So I was not actively reading Ghost Rider, or it's definitely not Werewolf by Night at this time. And this is along the Strange Tales title line, kind of like they had the Marvel Knights, and they did a lot of stuff like that in the 90s. Some of the more adult, I guess, themed writing. But like I said, I thought I needed this, so I grabbed it since I saw it. I think I still need some for this limited series. But yeah, it's the last one, so I got that at least. But that's Werewolf by Night, Volume 2, Number 6. Okay, almost halfway through, guys. We're going back to DC. This was a recent obsession, I guess you call it. I've been picking up Teen Titans Volume 6 here, and this is number 44, and this is the variant B cover. 2020 is when this came out. And yeah, it's a cool cover with Crush on it, daughter of Lobo, written by Robbie Thompson. And the variant cover is Carrie Randolph and Peter Stegwald. Like I said, it's got a Crush cover. I found it for $1. I've been chasing down this volume since I found some in the dollar bin. I don't think it was a very long series, 40-ish, just under 50 issues. So I got about half of them just out of the dollar bin, which is crazy. And I'm excited to start reading it. I mean, I've looked through a lot of the issues, but I'm one of those types, I like to get all the issues and then start reading it. But yeah, this is a cool cover. I liked some of these variant covers they did at this time period. So yeah, this is Teen Titans number 44B, and this is volume 6 with Crush. Okay, halfway there, guys. And speaking of Lobo, we have Justice League International. Now, this is number 19, came out in 1988. I love this cover. It's they had that kind of tongue-in-cheek, quirky humor back then. And this is called No More Mr. Nice Guy. Of course, Guy Gardner on the cover here, squaring off against Lobo. And yeah, this was Keith Griffin and J.M. DeMatteis co-wrote this, and the art was Kevin McGuire and Joe Rubinstein. And I found this in the dollar bin, and I knew of a previous cover. I think it's just before this. This is number 19. So number 18 actually is kind of a reflection of this. It actually has Lobo bearing down on Guy Gardner. So I kind of want to find that one. I think that one might be like a minor key, so it'd be a little bit harder to find in the dollar bin. But yeah, this number 19, 1988, Justice League International. Very cool art. A lot of the reason I got this iconic image and the fact that Keith Griffin worked on this, and we just recently lost him. So I've been noticing a lot of his 80s work and remembering, oh, I used to have that, or hey, I kind of want to get that type of thing. So but yeah, Justice League International number 18 with Guy Gardner and Lobo on it. Oh, and a little side note, one of the things I like about digging in these dollar bins is the ads on. So on the back of this one is this old TSR Welcome to the 25th Century Buck Rogers board game. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with this game and you see it, it's a game worth getting and picking up. It's a classic. It's one of those good ones. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, it's just classic 80s TSR board game fun. Okay, back to comics. Okay, this is another title I've been picking up when I see them in the dollar bins. Not too actively chasing them, but when I see them, I grab them. And this is G.I. Joe, Real American Hero by Marvel. It's number 53 from 1986. Now, this is Larry Hama wrote this, and Rod Willingham was the artist on this. And what this one, as you can see, stands out. This is Marvel's 25th anniversary edition border type of thing that in this year, I don't know if it's all the same month, but all their current titles at that time had this little border celebrating their 25th anniversary. And I can't believe I found this in the dollar bin. Now, granted, this isn't in the nicest shape. This is a reader copy. At best, it's probably a good. You can't see it because I rebagged it, but it's got a lot of like waves and marks on it, and I don't know if a pressing and the cleaning would help this, but like I said, it's $1. It's a reader copy. It looks pretty good in a brand new bag, so that's worth it to me. But yeah, number 53, GI Joe with the classic collectible 25th anniversary border. So okay, here's another one that I was surprised to find in the dollar bin. I found a bunch of these. You may have seen some of these in the video with me picking them out. This was a series that I used to have back in the day, and I don't know what happened to it. I have no clue. So when I saw Deathstroke, the Terminator #1 in the dollar bin, I snagged it. And like I said, there was a bunch of other ones from this series that I got probably a good chunk of this, with some holes here and there from 1 to 30. But yeah, for $1, I was like, yeah, I want to get this. This was really cool. #1 from 1991. I remember buying this. All of us were excited about this. This is, I mentioned before, Marv Wolfman was the writer on this one, and Mike Zeck did the cover here. Very cool cover. And this was the first solo series for Deathstroke here, as, let's see, Slade Wilson. So I guess there's been other people that have been Deathstroke, but this was the Slade Wilson character as Deathstroke. And also, this was the first cameo of Ranger in here. So yeah, I this is pretty cool. I totally forgot Marv Wolfman did this. He's more known for the 70s stuff he did, the monsters like Tomb of Dracula. He did, I think, some of the other monsters. He's known for the new Teen Titans, so early 80s stuff, and Crisis on Infinite Earth. So I did not realize that he did more DC work than he did with Marvel. So yeah, like I said, this kind of nostalgia. That's why I picked it up. I was shocked that I saw it. I think I got there at the right time when I was digging and found this. I think they must have just did a refill type of thing with overstock and or stuff they just like, yeah, let's just move it type of thing. So I guess my luck was with me that day. So Deathstroke the Terminator #1. Okay, my 9th one here, and then no surprise here that I've been on a kick with this, but it's Lobo, and this was one of the miniseries I did not have. I missed out on this one. This is Lobo, A Contract on Gwad. I like how they spell Gwad there. 1994, this is #1. Now, I did see a bunch of the other ones. I did go back and grab all 4 of them. I think it was a 4-issue miniseries. And this is written by Alan Grant, and the art is Kieran Dwyer. Pretty cool classic Lobo cover there where he's got the guns blazing and stuff. I mean, if we ever do I know I've seen some creators do gun themed covers. This would be a perfect one for that. Yeah, I totally missed out on this. 1994. I was not collecting comics at that time. I was kind of a poor college student. So, but it looks like it's classic, zany, get into trouble Lobo. So I'm excited to read this series since I did end up going back and getting the rest of them. So, but yeah, that's Lobo Contract on Gwad #1. Okay, last up, #10 for my 10 for 10 is a little issue that I couldn't resist this. It makes me laugh when I see how popular this actor was from the 80s, but that is Mr. T and the T-Force. This is by Now Comics. This is #1 of the series. I think the series was a 10-issue series from 1993. Now, this is written by Peter Stone, and this was the big seller for me. I think it's a Neil Adams cover. I don't know if Neil was friends with Mr. T or something, or he was a fan, but I'm like, anytime I see something from Mr. T or the A-Team, I kind of can't help but snag it up. I mean, it was so hugely popular in the 80s. I mean, just recently, my Throw Up Your Set Saturday was the 3-issue A-Team series that came out. And I remember having the toys in the mid-80s and stuff like that. I think I might have my BA still. But yeah, Mr. T and the T-Force. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check out all the covers for this series, all 10 of them. They are really good art. I mean, even if you're not a fan of Mr. T and A-Team and all that stuff, just check out the art. It's really cool art. I don't recall some of the other artists that did these, but they jump out at you. They're worth, I think, getting just to collect. And like I said, this was $1, so pretty cool to have that. It's I don't even remember looking to see if this was in there, the free gold foil trading card. Because when I got this, I just put it in a new bag of board when I got home. But yeah, Mr. T and the T Force by Neil Adams, if you can believe that. Well, there you go, guys. There's my second 10 for 10 at my local store with their dollar bins that they put out for the holidays. I do have another one that I'm going to put out that I recorded about the same time. I think a couple days after I dug for these, they actually reduced them even more. So I don't know if I'm going to call it 20 for 10 or what, but yeah, I'm going to have another one before they took the dollar bins out of there. But yeah, let me know what you think. Did you like some of these pickups that I did for my 10 for 10? And make sure that you give me a like, a follow, and a comment down below what you thought about these 10 books that I got. And as a reminder, keep an eye open for something special new coming, to the channel using these Marvel universes. But yeah, and also head over to Instagram if you haven't went to Instagram, and give me a follow over there. You can see some of my more weekly posts that I do of pickups and just news and stuff like that. And make sure you check out those other channels that I mentioned down below. I'll have links and stuff like that. You can check them out. But that's it for this 10 for 10, guys. And until next time, when you're out there digging in all those dollar bins, I hope you guys pull out some cool gems from the dollar bins. And until next time, happy questing, and we'll talk to you next time.